Welcome to Great Lakes Outdoors, everyone. I'm your host, Rob Trott. On this week's show, we're going to take you turkey hunting, both on my season and Susie's, as well as Scott Johnson's, Tom Ballard, and Kim Ballard's. So you stay tuned for a great turkey hunt right here on your Great Lakes Outdoors. Susie, this year for our 2010 spring turkey season, you took the first season, which is April 19th, and I took the second season, May 3rd. Now you got a chance to hunt with our good friend Scott Johnson, and I hunted with Tom Ballard, and it turned out to be a pretty good season.
Well, in the end, I also got to hunt with Kim Ballard. We figured that if we split the season with me first and Rob second, that we'd get to hunt longer. Well, that kind of turned into a we'll tell you the story later. It was exciting. I did choose my crossbow, and I was adamant that I wasn't going to do it with a gun. Mm-hmm. You, in fact, even said, why don't you take both? And I knew that if the turkey was just a little further out than what my crossbow would let me, I'd shoot it with my gun. Wasn't going to happen. My crossbow and I were it.
And as you'll see, we'll let the story go out by itself anyway.
I think so.
Boy, Scott, they're gobbling all the way around us. I know. I think we got about 4 or 5 that we're here. They're on the right ridge behind us. They're on the left woods behind us. They're up in the front right corner. We need them right in front of us at the decoys now. What are you thinking with your first time hunting? I can't believe it. I never knew this ever happened in the woods in the springtime, especially here, where I usually rabbit hunt at. I can guarantee you. I never knew they were here. You'll be hooked. It's fun so far. There you go. It's just the beginning. Yeah, I hope. Hear them? They sound totally different, though. I don't think they're up in the tree.
At about 7:45, these 3 jakes were working their way towards the decoys.
Shoot the farthest one, you shoot the closest. I do. The middle one is the biggest. They're all coming. Which one are you going to shoot? The right one. Why? They're too close for your gun, though. You'll get a twofer. You'll get more than one, Scott. What? You'll get more than one with your shot. Okay. You go ahead, Sue. Do you want me to shoot it? Yeah. You want me to shoot it? Yeah. Oh no, yeah, they're too close. The one on the right. Yeah, but wait. They gotta separate.
All right, Scott, get out there.
Man, good Good going, Scott. Your first bird, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh, look at, whoa, look at this. He's got 2 beards.
He sure does.
He's got a double beard just big as heck. Look at that.
Wow.
About 4.5, 5 inches long. So, spur, yep, he's a 2-year-old. But boy, just, it was exciting. I mean,
It certainly was.
Sue thought she saw some, we heard him gobbling from quite a ways away.
Yeah, then she spotted him up over.
She spotted him way over by that.
Next field over.
Yep. And then I saw him move, and I got him on camera when they stepped out a little bit. But then they turned around. We were both calling them at that point. I had the box call, and she had a little push button.
She had that little yelper.
And they turned around for whatever reason. I thought they were gone. And it wasn't, 5 minutes, and here they come walking out in the
Right down
field.
that fence.
So it had to be the same 3.
Yep.
And they come out here, oh gosh, that's 100 yards away. And Sue started just really lightly hitting that push button. Light.
Switch directions on.
Yep.
They come right into the
Yeah, they
decoys.
started across the field, like you say, where that hen went.
Yep.
And boy, they come walking right in just sweet. And I got about, oh gosh, they were too close together so you guys couldn't shoot.
Yeah, we were hoping to get her a shot with the crossbow, and it just didn't present itself. And then
Yeah, she had a crossbow. Sue's got her crossbow. It's brand new to us, and we want to shoot at least one, if not both.
they were
of them
sure
with a
close
crossbow.
enough. They were.
20
it
yards.
seemed like they were half the distance from. I mean, because they're
I know.
so close.
But that didn't work out, but they were walking away then, and they got out of crossbow
They
range.
separated
for her.
enough,
Yep.
and then we were able to get one.
And you were fortunate enough to drill one, and you used that 3.5-inch Benelli of mine. Didn't kick, eh?
Yeah, that's the last thing I was thinking about. I can tell
I
you.
promise you, if you were sitting on the bench with it, it would kick.
Probably.
Well, there's a converted rabbit hunter now, I hope, from not converted,
this
because
is-
I know you like to rabbit
Yeah,
hunt, but
that,
this
yeah,
is a
this
thrill,
is
isn't it?
definitely. It's the first time I ever did it, but oh yeah, I'm absolutely hooked. There is nothing like that. Calling them in there, and then I mean they are on top of you. Knife here. So today is
Yeah, you just got to get today's date, which is
the 19th, right?
19th of April. Yep.
Opening day.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I should have sharpened my knife. So then we just go around his leg with one of these then?
That'll do it. Just keep it so you can read it, you know. There you go.
How's
You just
that right
tagged
there?
your first bird. Congratulations.
Thank you again. I appreciate it. This was a blast.
Well, Scott, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know, we had a big argument coming up to this time, didn't we?
Yeah,
What
yes
was
we
the
did.
argument?
Well, I wanted to be a gentleman and let you shoot first.
And
but
what did I say to you?
you said because of my limited time to
That's right.
let me go ahead and
You
hunt,
have
but-
work. This is my job, of course. I have
Right,
to do this.
right, yep.
So I wanted you to shoot first, and I will tell you, it was a lot easier getting you to shoot first than I thought it would be. And I understand, and I thank you for the gentleman thing. And really, it would have worked if we could have got them together, but
Right,
you know, I just didn't have the right shot.
right.
You know, and it was no.
Well, I was
sense.
hoping you would, and it looked like they were gonna, mosey on out of the decoy spread
Well, you
there.
kept
So
asking me, should I shoot it? Should I shoot it? When I first could tell you it was a Jake because my Excalibur has a scope on it.
scope, yep.
So I could tell you they were all 3 Jakes. And when I first said that, you said, should we shoot Jakes? Now, I had the experience my first year that I didn't. I passed the Jake thinking I'll get a big one, and I never saw another bird. So I'm
Right.
glad you make that decision. You know, like you said, it'll fill the oven.
That's right. That's right. We're looking forward to it.
You did great.
Thank you.
Well, Susie, the first day went fantastic.
It was awesome. I was as excited to see Scott get his very first turkey, which it was his first turkey and his first turkey hunt. And when he got so excited, I couldn't help but get excited. But I think the difference that I do need to explain here is that when we're in the camera blinds and the hunters are in the other blind, the camera blind is like about 8 or 9 feet over to my right. So the view that you see with the camera is not the view that I, as the crossbow hunter, see. So when you said, why didn't I shoot that one?
Yeah, it looked like they were right in range to me.
It was in range, but it turned, and when that bird turned, to you it looked like a perfect broadside shot. From me and my crossbow's aspect, I was just going to be able to clip that front right shoulder. So that's the difference in the 8 to 10 feet that you don't see. What I really need is a camera taped to the end of my crossbow,
Yeah.
so you see what I see as
Yeah.
a viewer.
Yeah.
But did I feel like it was the right thing for Scott to do? Oh, amen, I did. It was great.
Yep. So then we went into the second day. The second morning, it continued right on. here came one that was gimpy. We called him Gimpy, in
Called him
fact.
Gimpy.
He came walking out and gimping, and boy, he was dragging the ground with his beard. But when he came out, once again, if you'd had a gun, he was about 35, 40 yards, but wrong angle for the crossbow. And he continued to angle out, and so we had no shot at him.
That was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
7 o'clock, second morning. You looked over and said, what?
Yeah, there's a turkey right here.
I recall you said a tom.
A tom,
right here.
yeah. Well, he's been gobbling just to the south and to the west of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just going to say to you that I haven't heard him in a while. He should be down. And I looked out the window, and there he is. Right there.
And he had what, 8, 10-inch beard at least?
Yeah, Rob was guessing he was around 8 to 10 inch.
Yep. And he had a limp.
He was limping. I seen when he was coming through. He was favoring that one leg. And you guys couldn't see him, but he was
Yeah.
right out my window.
Yeah. I knew by the look on your face that he had to be really close.
And I wasn't kidding.
No. No, but I've never seen a turkey limp. And we did hear some shots yesterday that were 2 and 3 shot sequences,
Right.
which a lot of times means the bird is lifting off and the hunter didn't get him.
Right.
I think that was the bird.
Could have been.
Mhm.
He tried to come into the decoys and tried to strut, tried to fan out.
I
And
saw that.
It looked like he couldn't do it, and he
Yeah.
just kept on going. So
And he never got the red head, the excitement.
never got excited.
So I think he was probably in pain.
Yep, I think so. Maybe he'll come back.
Maybe. Maybe.
We'll see.
That was exciting though.
That was good.
Yeah.
Woke you up.
Yeah.
The sandhill crane was really interested in our turkey decoys. Perhaps he had some turkey friends. At any rate, it was pretty exciting to watch. The following morning, this doe passed through, and she didn't care for the decoys at all.
Decoys. See, look at those decoys. Where's he?
Later that morning, this group of jakes came through, and it made for some great video. we saw so much wildlife. In fact, the rest of the time you hunted, there was wildlife in this field. We had a great spot here in North Branch where we were hunting, and just phenomenal wildlife. We got shots of raccoons and woodchucks and those two
Sandhill cranes.
Sandhill cranes. There was more than two, but the two
Squirrels.
landed right beside us. We got
Everything.
absolutely great footage of that.
And that was the exciting part of where we were. You never went for more than maybe 10 or 15 minutes without seeing something new. I mean, even the blackbirds, the red-winged blackbirds that bring spring back in with us, they were doing their dances, and the robins were awake. And anybody that thinks the outdoors is quiet, they need to be out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. The only thing I wondered will I ever do the first season again? It was cold.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of days, and a lot of you out there, I'm sure, were there too. It was 28, 30 degrees, and we had all of our long johns and our deer hunting equipment on.
I thought I was going deer hunting a couple times
yeah.
because it's been warmer.
But you know, Scott, you got to get back to Scott just for a second. He got so excited after he shot his bird. It was his first hunt ever, and we talked him into going this year, that he was taking mornings off work to come with us just to help us hunt. And he'd never called before. We had a situation on the third day where we had a group of jakes that were out there maybe 50 or 60 yards. That's the problem. When Sue had the crossbow up and ready, so she couldn't use the call. I'm taping, so I was having all kinds of trouble. I was putting the call between my legs and tried to do this while I had the camera up, and it really sounded awful. But you know, they responded to it anyway. So Scott said, "You want me to call?" And I thought, well, gosh, it can't sound any worse than what I was doing. So I gave Scott my box call, and every time he called, they gobbled. And there was, what, 3 or 4 of them out there, if I remember right.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But
And
they stayed out there about 60 yards. I think they'd played the game before already. And we just couldn't get him any closer, and they walked away.
well, what we kind of think is that the two that when they came into Scott and I that morning for the opening day of 3, and then we don't know where the 4th one came, but from the way their beards looked, it was a joint effort. Now there were four males together, and I think 2 had played and 2 hadn't. So
Yeah.
when you watched them in the field, 2 would hang back like, I don't think I really want to do that, and the other 2 were like, oh, I want to go see what's happening, and so it was kind of comical watching. But Scott, I will admit, is now become a full-fledged turkey addict.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's all it takes. But you know, we didn't mention too, we saw a ton of deer out there. We were setting, we had the blinds set up. We had 2 Ameristep blinds set up at the edge of the woods, and open cornfield in front of us. It hadn't been plowed or anything yet. And boy, they were coming out there just to peck at the corn and the bugs out there and everything. But the deer, I know that one time we had 5 deer running right at the blind, and we were seeing 10, 15 deer nearly every day out there. So like you say, it wasn't just sitting there. If the birds weren't calling or wandering around, there was always something to keep you interested.
Geese.
They were laying right in front of us, yeah.
Sandhills.
Yeah.
I even saw a heron go by and went, uh-oh, pond's in trouble. But it was exciting. It was exciting. It was a blessing.
But that went on nearly every day, and really, you hunted, I think of your 14 days, the 2 weeks of your season, you hunted all but 3 days, was it? I think.
so.
I think we had 3 nasty days you didn't go. And unfortunately, you saw, I don't know how many birds, but you never got to pull the trigger on the crossbow.
What I learned with my Excalibur is it makes me a better hunter because it teaches me patience. It really was, you know, we've all had turkey hunts, and I've had a number of them that have lasted a total of 12 minutes, and you've been real happy with that. But I feel great that I was able to sit out there, see what I was ready to see, and I had to be pickier. I really had to be pickier. So the challenge, I thought, with the Excalibur was awesome. You know, I mean, I really thought that made it an exciting time. And because I had the time to dedicate to the hunt, it was even more exciting. And I don't regret, you know, not cashing in my bow for the turkey. I don't regret it at all.
So anyway, we had 2 days left of Tom's time off, and it had been tough for him to hunt anymore. And we had a close call experience the day before, and they just hung up once again, and we said, you know, it's time to get the shotguns out. These things.
You said it was time to get the shotgun out.
You know, I said it's time to dig the shotguns out. So Tom and I, on our 5th morning, took the shotguns, and I was really glad we did, to be honest with you, because it was the same old thing again. But it was very early. We hadn't heard anything the morning before, gobble or anything, and Friday morning.
Weather was kind of iffy.
Well, yeah, we got out there Friday morning. We knew it was going to rain. It was 80% chance to rain. It was dark when it started getting light. We knew we didn't have long to hunt. And lo and behold, nothing calling in the trees. About 6:45, I looked out. I said, there's a Tom. And he was out there again, 60, 70, 80 yards. And pretty soon, 3, 4 more walked out.
Let me give you the inside of that story, though. We had looked at the decoys, and one of the decoys just didn't look right.
Oh, that's
so I
right,
had
yeah.
just ran out, and because I was closest to the door, camera lady, you know, co-host thing, and I ran out and I changed the decoy. I pulled the decoy in and I put it in Tom and Rob's blind. And so that was okay. I didn't no more than get in the blind. I zipped the door closed for the camera. I said my prayers, because it was early in the morning, and I looked over at Rob in the other blind and I said, you know, I can't do this for much longer. And I was tired. We were getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, this would have been the 19th day we'd been out, you know.
And so I said, I can't do this much longer. And the Lord heard my prayers. Boom. Not 10 seconds later.
I saw that first Tom.
Looks like it. Gosh, Rob. All right, I'm taking one in the middle. Ready? Let me know. I got mine. Huh?
Well, you know what? Sleep in tomorrow.
Susie's all for that. She just got through saying, I can't take much more of this. Well, we got a double, people.
Yeah, about time, eh?
Yeah, they're nice birds. 2-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is
Been a tough one.
May 6th. It's a 4 or 5 inch beard on both of them.
Yeah.
They're not bad. Tom, it's always nice to thank the landowners. We had 2 great places in southern Michigan here. I'd like to thank Freddie, and you got,
Debbie, my neighbor.
okay. And that's all we're going to say, folks, as far as where we're at. It's in
That's
southern
right.
Michigan. Also, though, Scott Johnson, our buddy Scott shot his first bird ever opening day right here at this same blind. So we've had a really successful season.
Yeah.
Even though Susie didn't get one, I tell you, she really tried, and that's all you can do. Well, Tom, we'd like to thank your wife, Kim, too. We didn't get her on tape, but she shot a beautiful, was it a 9-inch beard?
A little over 9, yeah.
Yep, up by your place in Brown City. And I'd like to thank Susie. She hunted diligently, I'll tell you. She had her Excalibur crossbow out here, refused to use anything else, and I got to give her credit because every day we had birds skirting us. They just wouldn't come into the decoys. I think they were call shy. They knew there was some other hunters out here. And so this morning, we've been using the crossbows the first 3 or 4 days of our season, too. And we brought out the Benelli and the Mossberg, and I'm sure glad we had it because at 6:45, they pulled the same thing they've been doing all week. They came way out in the field. And the only way they came in was that cluck and purr you were doing.
Yeah.
They came right in, they got within 30 or 40 yards, and they did the same thing and cut towards the woods, and fortunately we got them this time.
Yep. No getting by us this
That's
time.
right. So we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did bringing it to you this year. So until next week, get out there and get your turkey.